everyone, when they pass the age 25, 30, 35, their internal body clock begins to slow down. And primarily that's through loss of what is traditionally known as various growth factors, hormones in the body that promote growth and so forth. You know, you're grown, you're 25 or 30, and you're pretty well done growing. So the body then turns that down. There are a number of different ways to try to pick that back up again and restore it. Very few people actually go after it and make the effort to try to do that for themselves. But those that do, and those that especially link up with the product we're going to be talking about in this hour. It's more than a product, really. It's as close as I can come to saying that we have found something that will work to reverse the aging process as much as we're going to be able to do. It's an extraordinary tool, and here to talk to us about that is Blake Sawyer. He is the owner and president, and any other title you want to hang on him, of Royal Velvet. And the website, of course, is... It's a fascinating story. Blake Sawyer, just so you know, is a health educator. He's an author, radio show host, and also a trends researcher. He's been involved as a behind-the-scenes researcher for several #1 best-selling books and is a published author himself. He's been an entrepreneur for over 40 years now. He is a man who does seek the truth. He has found something that is, in my estimation, utterly extraordinary. Blake, welcome to the program.
Hey, Jeff, it's really good to be with you tonight.
Well, thank you. I'd love to have you on more often. We look forward to this visit. I want to find out some things on behalf of all those listening that they will find to some degree on the website, but there's nothing like hearing it from the man himself. Let's go back. Let's rewind. How did you come across this? What was it that really pushed you in the direction of trying to find something that would help reverse the disabilities and the feeling of being run down and that spark of inner essence that we call life and vitality? What pushed you in that direction?
Do we have 15 hours? I'm kidding.
Yeah,
let's see how I can do this in the Reader's Digest condensed version.
You have 90
seconds. On a
seconds.
plane, I have people ask me this question. I've never got it down very well, but I was a very sickly child, and I was facing, at the age of 19, a life-threatening illness. Really was on death's door. And I had an epiphany, and that epiphany led me to look at life completely differently because I thought I was going to die. And so I dedicated my life. I sort of, did that crying out to God, if you let me live, man, I'll learn everything there is about the body, and I'll help everybody I possibly can. Sort of that, deathbed sort of, I really don't want to die, but if I have to, I will sort of thing. And I lived, and I put together a life of 40 years of researching what the human body really is. Mm-hmm. And I discovered something that, honest engine, I've been teaching this for decades, and I have a book about it, but the body has 7 internal environments. And I discovered this, and it controls everything in the human body. Now, the life and death struggle that I was facing 40 years ago, we didn't have the Internet, but I just remember going to a health food store and buying everything I could buy in the way of information. And how they were in Europe, it was mostly Europe, they were curing people with cancer and things with a vegetarian diet. It was a raw diet.
Right.
I just remember reading the stories of people. I mean, I bought a book on Gerson. Gerson was back then, and there was a few others. But
you remember Paul Bragg, the Bragg books, I'm sure?
Yes. Sure. It was available back then as well, too.
Yeah.
And people ate so many carotenoids, those yellow, orange, and red colors, and fruits and vegetables, that their skin turned orangish color.
Yeah.
But they lived, and it beat off the cancer, etc. What I've discovered over all these years, and fairly soon on, is that it nutrified the body, it detoxified the body, it alkalized the body, it dealt with these 7 internal environments, and it changed the environment that cancer has to thrive and dwell in, but all disease. So over this course of a period of time, to answer your question, Jeff, of how I discovered Royal Velvet and formulated it, etc., is I became what I perceived was the truth seeker. I would look at anything from the perspective, I just want to know the truth. I don't want to believe in ism, meaning allopathic or chiropractic or naturopathic or this. I just want to know the truth. Because everything else had been trying to kill me. I mean, the allopathic system was about ready to kill me, not my disease. So I put together a protocol, and I did it for myself, and I lived, and I haven't seen a doctor in 40 years, and people started asking me and wanting to know information, so I gave them this information. People at first were being healed of cancer, stage 4 everything, and then it kind of generated and went on and on and on. Finally, with the Internet, putting this information up on the Internet, that blew up big time. And it got into the multiple sclerosis industry, and it just snowballed. It just got bigger. And then the government got involved and said you can't cure people.
Well, I was just going to ask you about that. You can't say those kinds of things and get away with it for very long.
Yeah, I had a website. Literally, it was 900 pages. My webmaster just constantly complained about how big it was. But at the top of every page, it said, "I don't heal you. The protocol doesn't heal you. Only God can heal you. He designed the human body. We'll give the credit to God." And at the bottom, we did the typical FDA disclaimer. There's nothing here that can is diagnosing and treating and curing any disease, etc. But the FDA from Washington D.C. came in and they said, "No more. You can't do this." So I really did want more than anything to find solutions to people. And what I discovered is that you can bring your body to a state. I call it homeostasis. Some people call it divine health. You can call it anything you want to. But you don't even have colds or flus. I haven't had a cold or flu in 40 years. No sickness, no disease of any kind.
Wow.
And I'm just months away from having been on this planet for 60 years. And most people think I look 25 to 30 years younger. I feel 30, 40 years younger. But I look in the world for anything, any information, any tool to be able to bring the body to the perfect state.
It is said that on this planet, nature has literally given us the keys to do anything we really want.
Absolutely. I agree with you there, totally. Absolutely. So I only believe in not man-made created things, only things that are created in nature. Most people are eating food today and even taking supplements that are created by man, and they don't recognize
it. Can't call it food. I don't call it food. They're eating a toxic diet of, they're hastening their death.
My book mentions that. It isn't food. People call it food and they sell it as food, but it isn't food. I raised my kids. I have a 20-year-old son and an 18-year-old daughter, and I raised them to look at food. Not does it taste good, but is it going to keep me alive? Is it nutrient dense? Is it natural? Or did man have some sort of thing to do with it? Make sure it's not genetically modified, irradiated.
Well, the body's a temple. You can't. You are what you eat. Okay. Simple.
Absolutely. So I think you can believe anything that you want to believe, but fate, karma, whatever. I have put so much information out there, and this ability came to me to be able to find out about this particular product that now is Royal Velvet. And the cool thing about it is it's so unique. There's nothing else in the world. It has nearly 2,000 nutrients in it. It has all the growth factors. It really probably has a couple hundred nutrients, or I call them constituents, because they're very, very unique at what they do in the body. And you can't get them from any other source. And the neat thing is we can give you 97, 98% absorption in about 35, 40 seconds directly in the bloodstream.
35 or 40 seconds?
Delivery system.
That's incredible. 30 or 40 seconds.
Yeah, 35 to 40 seconds. The problem with people today is they don't understand that even the physician desk reference, science has proven that if you take 100 milligrams of vitamin C, you're going to get maximum 10 milligrams. That's the maximum you get. And the average American is so toxic in their gastrointestinal tract, the average is 0 to 4%. And so people take these things and they don't get any benefit from them because they're not absorbing anything.
Right.
When you put it in your mouth, it's really about 28 to 30 feet away before the villi, so it looks like suction cup things like octopus, will absorb them in the gastrointestinal tract in the lower part, which is the colon.
Well, unfortunately, most of the villi in most people is covered with almost like a plastic goo, and there's very little chance of absorption.
Yeah, post-putrescent fecal matter. The hamburger and fries you ate 15 years ago when you didn't know better kind of gets stuck in those crevices, and with mucus forming, which are all animal products.
Seals it in.
I've written this in my book. I have several pages on why you shouldn't eat cooked food, and it really turns into this gooey, icky stuff, and it gets sticky. and it slaps in there and in these crevices, and then it turns into, it looks like tire rubber if you open up a cadaver. And parasites and worms and candida and yeast and fungus and mold
I love it.
thrive in there.
Yeah.
And instead of absorbing nutrients that are in the food that you're eating, you're absorbing toxins, and people aren't in an auto-intoxication.
Exactly. You're absorbing the toxins of these things that are living parasitically in your digestive system, and you can't live on that. And people don't live on it. They die. It's real simple.
No, they do. It's sad.
This is a really extraordinary story. Now, Royal Velvet is quite a unique name. This is a very unique product. Let me go back to this. A lot of people are taking testosterone, testosterone injection. They'll eat it or be injected. It doesn't matter. Then there's the HGH crowd, human growth hormone, that is being widely used and with some success. What's the difference in Royal Velvet and, let's say, HGH? How do you compare the two?
Huge, and I'm so glad you asked that question. This is the biggest deal. HGH is manufactured by the pituitary. It's squirted out, if you will. It's just slightly squeezed out of the pituitary when you're in your deepest dimensions of sleep, and its half-life is about 100 seconds, less than 2 minutes. That means half of it dissipates. That's enough time for the liver to take it through the bloodstream to take it to the liver, and then it's manufactured into growth factors, growth hormones. The main one is being IGF-1. Ronald Platz wrote the most famous book on HGH. In fact, right here I'm in my studio where I do my radio show, and I have dozens and dozens of books on HGH. But the main one is Grow Young with HGH by Ronald Platz. And he mentioned all these incredible things that human growth hormone can do.
Yeah.
And he did tell the truth. On page 42, he said, really, HGH doesn't do anything. Everything in this book is because of IGF-1. HGH is just the building material that the liver uses to make the growth hormone.
Okay, so what insulin growth factor, IGF-1, what in your body makes IGF-1? Where is it made?
The liver.
It's
the
all
liver
made in the liver.
From
all
human
of them. Okay.
growth hormone.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you about this. This is the biggest deal that people should know, Jeff. What I discovered, and what's in my book, The Homeostasis Protocol, homeostasis means balance. What we have discovered, scientifically it's been proven, if you take one mineral over all other minerals, let's say when calcium was really popular, people were taking calcium supplements.
Sure.
But we learned that if you take a huge amount of calcium, you'll have a magnesium-potassium deficiency. If you don't have magnesium, your heart can't beat. If you don't have potassium, you can't blink your eyes. The same thing with an amino acid. You could take one amino acid. A lot of bodybuilders will take arginine over any other. They all fight each other to get to the brain. So then people have schizophrenia and bipolar and all these different things. You need a proper balance. Food doesn't have just calcium in it. It has all the minerals in varying different quantities. The same thing with the growth factors. If you put inside your body a huge amount of human growth hormone IGF-1, you're going to proliferate cells. But did you know, Jeff, you lost 150 billion cells today? You need to lose those cells. And the reason is because they're old, they're weak, they're not functioning, their DNA could be damaged. So you need a balance of all the growth factors. Royal Velvet has every single growth factor in a proper balance, including transforming growth factor beta, which causes cellular apoptosis, death. You have cellular mitosis, you create cells every day, in the tune of about 150 billion. If you do the anti-aging thing, you're losing fewer cells than you create. That is what anti-aging is. So you need this proper balance. If you take a human growth hormone and you don't have the proper balance of the other growth factors, you'll proliferate the cancer cells. Everybody has them. I get them every day. They're created because free radicals or other things, even though, Jeff, you and I, we eat very, very healthy. We eat organic. We eat raw. We don't have anything genetically modified. We have healthy environments that we're in.
Right.
But in this day and age, you can't get away from toxins and poisons, and your body just naturally creates